This video demonstrates the Remote Attestation System tool, or RAS tool. The RAS tool is composed of two components, the verifier, which is in the cloud, and the prover located in the vehicle. The verifier is an entity that will request evidence of the execution of a program. It will compare this evidence to a reference value obtained before the deployment of the program to attest. The prover is an entity collocated to the program to attest. During the execution of the program, the prover collects specific information about the execution. When requested by the verifier, the prover sends the collected evidence to the verifier to perform the attestation. If an attacker takes control of an application, strange behaviors may happen and need to be detected. This can be accomplished by using the Remote Attestation System tool. The overall process is as follows. First, the VSOC requests an attestation for a program on a specific vehicle. This request is sent to the Remote Attestation System verifier. The verifier finds the prover handling the desired program on the specified vehicle and requests evidence from it. The prover, in the vehicle, collects the evidence for the program requested by the verifier. Evidence corresponds to system calls in this situation. The prover sends the collected evidence back to the verifier. The verifier compares the received evidence to a reference value that is computed before the deployment of the program. Depending on the comparison, the verifier indicates to the VSOC that the attestation succeeded or failed. For this demonstration, we are going to attest a program named ROP. The source code of this program is as follows. In a nominal scenario, the program only copies a string of characters and exits without printing anything, as we can see in the vulnerable function. However, we can see in the source code that different functions are defined, though not called. These functions are ROP1, ROP2, and ROP3. When executing the program with a specific input, the execution of the program is changing. If we try to execute this program only with a simple string of characters, we see that nothing is printed. However, with a specific input, we can see that the function ROP1, ROP2, and ROP3 are called because they are printing character. This is because this specific input erases part of the program memory to redirect the control flow to the uncalled functions. The source code of the program has not changed, but the behavior of the program has changed. Therefore, this type of scenario cannot be detected by a hash-based mechanism that will only verify the integrity of the source code and not the integrity of the control flow of the application. Now, if we set up the Remote Attestation System tool, so first by adding an audit rule. So audit is a plugin of the kernel. So this is a standard mechanism that is going to monitor the ROP program, and it's going to forward the system calls to the Remote Attestation System tool. So first we add this rule, and we can verify that it is here with this command. So the rule is installed. Then I have to start the collector, which is described in D5.3. And now, as we can see, so we've got no logs for now. The collector is checking a queue. And we've got no information at the moment. Now, if we send a request to obtain the attestation of the ROP program, which has not been executed yet, we are going to see the result in this console. So the netcat is here to replace the VSOC, and the curl request is also here to replace the VSOC. So if we send a request, we can see that we have a state of 1 because the code has not been executed yet, so everything is good so far. Now, if we verify the state of the TPM that is also receiving information from the execution of the raw program, we can see that the state is at 0, so there is no information yet. If we execute the raw program with the correct string, so without inducing a bad behavior, we can see that the TPM state has changed, and we can also see in the collector that we receive some system calls. So for instance, here we receive rsec, here mprotect, etc., etc. And these were put in the TPM. Now, if we send a request to obtain the attestation of this program, so the same request, we also see a state of 1, which says that the program is attested. We can also see the information of the request here. So we receive the request and it is validated against the reference value that has the verifier, and the quote is verified. So the part of the TPM is also verified. In the prover, we can see that it has transmitted all the system calls, and it received also the quote from the TPM that is sent to the verifier to check it. The collector did nothing, and here in the recognize we can see, so this is a log of the verifier, so it has a reference value, which is a graph representing the control flow of the program, the correct control flow of the program, and then we see that it compares to the system call that it received. And if the attestation is a success, the state is at 1, as we can see here. Now, if we use the if we execute the raw program with the bat string, so this one, so we see that we took control of the control flow, and if we look at the TPM state, we see that the value has changed. Now, in the collector, we can still see that we received lots of system calls, but they are going to be different because it is not the same control flow. If we ask for the attestation of the raw program, this time we are going to receive a bad state, so state 0 here, because the control flow is not the same. And if we look in the verifier log, we see that it's not compliant, meaning that it is not the same as the reference value that has the verifier. In the prover, nothing has changed because the prover is only forwarding the system calls, but it's not making any checks. The collector didn't change too. We see that it sends the information, that it's packaging the information to be sent to the prover before the verifier. And then in the log here, we have also the same verification. So we still have the same graph because the reference value has not changed, but we see that after these system calls, the check is ending and doesn't end the last states here, and this is the same as here. So we got you get our limit man map, and we are supposed to get exit group, but here we've got statics, so we do not have the same control flow, and therefore the attestation failed. So the Remote Attestation System tool can therefore detect when the execution of the program is changing from what it is supposed to be, even though the source code is the same in this scenario.